My beloved child, pause whatever you are doing and listen with your whole heart, for a hidden snare is being set against you even now, one that, if unnoticed, could steal your honor, your peace, and perhaps your very soul. I am calling you to remain alert, for the enemy moves in silence, using familiar faces and whispered lies to draw you into a trap. Do not dismiss this warning as mere words. Every second you delay could open the door wider. Stay with me until the end, and I will reveal how to stand firm, dismantle every scheme, and preserve the priceless light I placed within you, before the moment to act slips away. My child, you are not merely facing a person. You are confronting an intention birthed in darkness. This is no longer just a human conflict, it is a spiritual battle. The enemy seeks to weaponize unhealed wounds and use them against you. It does not need to pierce your body, for it aims to harm something far more precious: the reputation, the influence, and the spiritual authority I have entrusted to you. It wants to drain the trust others have in you. It seeks to plant seeds of doubt in the very places where I have already established my affirmation. And if you are not vigilant, this assault may jolt you, not because you are weak, but because you have trusted too easily that the storm had passed. My child, I do not share this with you to alarm you, but to equip you. I am the one who sees every plan conceived in the dark, and I am now opening wide the doors of light so you may move forward without stumbling. Do not fall into the trap of anger or revenge. Do not answer cruel words with the language of the flesh. I desire that you wear peace as your armor. I want you to let me fight for you. For what this person is plotting is not a random backlash. It is a plan fueled by unresolved emotion. And if you walk into it with your own emotions, you will be pulled into a whirlwind I never intended for you. My precious one, I need you to see this not through your emotions, but through spiritual eyes. Do not let words that seem kind yet carry hidden motives draw you near. Do not mistake physical closeness for spiritual safety. The enemy does not always appear as a stranger. Sometimes it wears a familiar face, the face of someone who once spoke your name, who once shared laughter with you, but now holds a different message, a different motive, a blade hidden in a bouquet. This is the moment for you to withdraw from pointless exchanges. Guard your mouth, pray before you respond, and stay silent when you have not heard my voice. For there will be moments when I show you that silence is your strongest weapon. The enemy does not know how to attack a soul that stands firm. Let your composure confound them. Let my wisdom be the force that makes every accusation lose its hold. And above all, do not try to shield yourself by your own power. I will be your advocate in the hearts of others. I will be the one who dismantles each evil scheme formed against you, not by muting your accusers, but by making the truth so radiant that no one can deny it. Do not let your heart be stained with doubt, nor let the wounds of the past make you question your own worth. I still see you clearly, I still affirm you, and no rumor, no cleverly disguised plan can ever rob you of the value I have placed within you. Stand still and watch the salvation I will bring. Take shelter under the shadow of my wings, and I will be the stronghold that guards your soul in every siege. My child, in the coming days, you will sense a stirring, not a gentle breeze, but a shift within, as though your soul is being alerted to something that has yet to happen. Do not overlook that inward warning. It is my Holy Spirit holding you back from walking into a risky situation. They may approach you with an apology, a chance encounter, or a setup that forces a face-to-face meeting. But I say to you, step aside in peace. Not everyone who apologizes is meant to come back. Not everyone who speaks kindly holds good intentions. Let me be the one who confirms the timing, and if needed, the one who shuts the door. I have not called you to live suspiciously, but to live in wisdom. There is a significant difference between forgiveness and granting someone entry into your spiritual domain. You can forgive, and you must, but that does not require allowing them to stand with you in the sacred circle. That circle is meant to defend purity, anointing, and my presence. Do not let anyone, even those who were once close, enter it unless I personally restore them. My beloved, remember this. Your faithfulness in this season will open the door to a new one. I am not only protecting you from attacks, but also positioning you for a spiritual promotion. Every assault you endure in this time signals that something bigger is approaching. And because the enemy knows it, it trembles. It wants to blind your mind so you cannot perceive what I am about to bring. But stand firm. Do not let the words of others speak louder than what I have already declared over you. You do not need to respond. You do not need to chase every rumor to quell it. Light does not have to justify itself to darkness. Simply keep walking in righteousness. Keep doing what is right. Keep your heart free of bitterness, and I will handle the rest. For I am the one who observed their designs before they even spoke, and I will convert them into evidence of your righteousness. I know lately you have felt unsettled. I see the times you have quietly pulled back. Not because your faith is lacking, but because it hurts when what you offer is not greeted with the honor it deserves. You have endeavored to live uprightly, not letting bitterness infiltrate your soul. But I know there have been moments when you wondered, am I enough? Does the light in me truly shine? My child, hear me plainly in this instant. My love for you is not shaken by the struggles you face. Your worth does not diminish because someone walked away or because a few cruel words were delivered with cold indifference. You are not defined by human approval, but by my timeless choice. Before anyone knew your name, I engraved it on the palm of my hand. Before you ever proved a thing, I had already chosen you, not because you were perfect, but because your heart is tender ground where my presence can abide. Do not let shallow perceptions obscure the sacred light I put inside you. They might not see you accurately. They might view you through lenses clouded by their own past, their prejudice, or their pain. But I see you through eyes of boundless love. I see every time you chose to forgive while your heart still bled. I see the days you smiled at others even though your soul was heavy. And I have kept it all as a silent gift, a lovely aroma arising to my throne. The light within you does not come from people, so nobody can seize it. It comes from me, the one who breathed life into your being, the one who placed within you a distinct light, not one that dazzles with spectacle, but one that lasts with quiet fortitude. That light does not need to prove itself. It does not need the spotlight to be affirmed. It only needs to continue being faithful in its flame. And I assure you this, those who are in me will never be dimmed, even if they are concealed from the world's view. My beloved child, I know there are instances when you feel left behind, as though your faithfulness is misread, as though the world is rushing too quickly to pause and notice you. But I am not like the world. I have observed your every step, each small decision made in devout obedience. The things that seem trivial, a silent intercession, a look of empathy, a discreet refusal to compromise, all are cherished gems in the crown I am preparing for you. Do not be discouraged if your faithfulness is overlooked right now. Heavenly rewards do not always appear in ways people foresee. Sometimes they manifest through the perseverance you have formed, through the internal conflicts you have overcome with no applause. You need not become somebody else to be valued. My love for you is not contingent on performance, on success, or on public acceptance. It only asks you to be who I fashioned you to be, the one I formed, named, and am shaping for a significant purpose. And if someone uses words to harm you, keep this in mind. They are striking at something they cannot touch because they do not truly know you. They see the surface, but I see the roots. Do not allow their hurtful words to burrow into your soul. Instead, let my words, words of life, words of affirmation, be your unwavering base. In my eyes, you are a treasure, a rare jewel rising from rugged soil, a lily among thorns. And if I have chosen you, nobody can remove you from the plan I have set in motion. My child, there are times I let you go through misunderstanding, not to weaken you, but to demonstrate that your faith is not built on admiration. I am teaching you how to stand when no one stands with you, how to love even when rejected, how to shine despite the burden of obscurity. And that, beyond everything, makes you precious in my sight. Keep your heart tender. Do not let what is happening around you build a fortress of self-defense. Do not let criticism prompt you to abandon your quest to love. I know you are weary. I see you wrestling in silence. But I also see your constancy. I see your eyes still directed toward me, your heart still searching for wonder, even among the scars. And I vow this to you, your tears have not been wasted. They are seeds for a remarkable harvest I am preparing. Each time you choose love when you have ample reason to hate, that is a victory celebrated in heaven. Each time you remain quiet and let me speak, that is a step into solid spiritual maturity. You need not respond with clamor. You merely need to keep walking in faithfulness. Truth always finds its own path home. And when I move, no one will be able to dispute what I have validated. The day will arrive when the light in you will amaze those who once doubted. There will be a moment when your righteousness is so plainly displayed that even the most severe tongues go silent. But until then, I want you to proceed not from a craving to be noticed, but from certainty that I see you, I know you, and I delight in you. Do not grant your heart to anger. Do not let your soul be pulled down by things unworthy of who you really are. Remember, you were not formed to please people, but to bring delight to me. And when you live to please me, all else will follow in the timing I have decreed. So, my beloved, hold up your head. Let tears flow if necessary, but do not allow them to wash away your hope. Embrace the silence if required, but do not let it snuff out the flame within you. I am walking beside you, covering you with a protection unseen by mortal eyes, and I will never let you stray beyond my reach. Everything you have faced, those episodes that felt like they would shatter you, I will transform them into the bedrock for something indestructible. And it will be my love, steadfast and limitless, that becomes your power, guiding you to the destination I vowed. My precious one, I fully know the undercurrents swirling in your heart. I sense the quiet unrest, the hidden burdens you hesitate to speak aloud. Because what you battle is not visible, but a silent conflict raging within the soul. You have heard rumors falsely cast upon you. You have felt the weight of wary glances, and sometimes you have wondered if years of upright building might be undone by a few twisted remarks. I saw the instant your heart wavered, small on the surface but profoundly real. And I have come to remind you, do not let external threats destroy the peace I have been nurturing in you all these years. Reputation is something you have guarded diligently, not from vanity, but because you respect yourself and want to walk in honor before me and others. You never pursued the spotlight, but the light in you has always been too genuine to stay hidden. And consequently, there are those who yearn to snuff it out. The enemy does not merely want to ruin your outward life. He aims to erode your sacred identity with doubt, with falsehoods in the costume of truth, with crafted stories intended to corrode the trust people place in you. Yet I say this again with love's authority. No charge can stand against you when your base is my truth. Do not fear hasty assessments. Do not rush to protect yourself, because in this very storm you will learn to be still, not from weakness, but because your heart is anchored in an everlasting truth. And that truth is not something you must safeguard. It is the truth that will protect you. I am the one who sees every hidden corner of your heart. I know each motive, each reason for all you say and do. When you choose integrity even in solitude, heaven records it. And in due time, that very light in you will uncover darkness for what it is. My child, true peace does not arise from being understood by others. Real peace emerges from knowing where you stand before me. Let me remind you of this. The respect you carry is not derived from a name bestowed on you by man. It comes from recognizing who you are in my eyes. When you act in obedience, when you refuse to compromise on what is wrong, when you decide not to respond to hurt with hurt, that is when you have defended the highest form of honor, the honor of your own soul and the reverence of heaven. Do not allow scornful words to bind your spirit. Understand this: certain attacks arise not because you are in error, but precisely because you are doing right. The enemy never remains quiet in the face of faithfulness, but no matter how loud the commotion, it cannot topple you if your trust in me holds steady within. And in this commotion, you will be refined, not hardened, but made resilient, profound, and saturated with the aroma of eternal love. View everything taking place as part of the plan. I do nothing devoid of purpose. When I allow you to go through events that appear to harm your good name, I do not seek to reduce you, but to forge in you a new level of strength, a maturity no longer tossed about by fleeting emotions. I am leading you toward deeper realms where no frivolous word can shake your faith, a place where every stride you take, every decision you make, is molded not by the desire to be liked, but by the counsel of my spirit. And my child, it is in the seasons that feel loneliest that I draw you closer. When the applause dies down, when approval is lacking, when no one's voice encourages you, that is when you will see clearly that my love never budges or changes. I am the shelter no storm can break. My love does not sway with the whims of public favor. When others desert you, I still walk by your side. When restless nights come, filled with anxious thoughts, I am the one whispering to your spirit, "You are still my beloved." You need not prove anything. There is no need to argue, no need to shout to be heard. I have watched, I have known, and I will not permit slander to go beyond the boundary I have established. Trust me in this plan, for what the enemy designs to harm you, I will transform into an entryway leading you into a brand new season, a time in which your honor is not dictated by human opinions, but by my activity. And I never do things in half measures. When I rebuild what was destroyed, I do not merely clean it, I make it new. I do not merely restore, I elevate. I do not simply erase a blemish, I crown you with righteousness. So move ahead in that faith. No word uttered by man can alter the destiny I have ordained. Even if the road gets rough, even if hearts grow cold, even if your faith is challenged, none of these can dictate your outcome. Only I have the authority to compose the next part of your story. And when I write, it is a narrative untouched by lies, unbent by selfish motives, a story that radiates truth, victory, and the boundless love that has enveloped you from the start. You are learning how to go through the fire and not be burned. You are discovering how to walk amid wolves while retaining the heart of a lamb. That is not weakness. It is the strength of those who are called by me. Do not judge your worth by what is briefly distorted. Bear in mind that a kingdom observes, a king documents, and a day will come when all that has been obscured will be brought to the light. Until that day, guard your heart's tenderness. Let your eyes see beyond the clamor, and let your ears differentiate what truly comes from me and what is simply a voice of deceit. Choose to keep your reactions unstained, for you do not merely live for this moment. You are sowing into eternity. Every action performed in light I will recall. Every modest step I will bless. And every word you hold back so as not to harm another soul is also considered a triumph in heaven. When you are pushed beyond your comfort zone, it is not desertion. It is an invitation to move into a deeper dimension of faith, one that no longer depends on applause or approval, but is rooted wholly in the truth I have spoken to you. The tests you face are, in reality, open doors, chances to unearth a more brilliant version of yourself, one who will not be easily bent by opinions, not pulled by the swirling currents of society, and not quick to forfeit peace just because others do not acknowledge your true worth. I have planted priceless seeds within your heart, seeds of kindness, reverence, unpretentious humility, and a deep awe of me. These seeds only become robust when confronted by winds and storms. In the same way, a tree grows strong when its roots must dig deep for water in barren soil. Therefore, my child, do not dread the moments that bring you suffering. Do not perceive them as punishments, but as lessons birthed in love, as the refining process of heaven, as essential steps that elevate you to higher ground, where only souls refined by fire can stand immovable. Beloved, I now beckon you to stand strong. Do not allow passing tempests to make you forget the everlasting promises I have spoken over your life. I did not merely vow you would endure, I promised you would overcome, not by human ability, but by my strength, not through retaliation, but through the silent endurance of faith. Cling to hope, for the hope you carry is not an empty thought. It is a firm anchor fastened to my constant word. I know you have experienced times when your hands felt too weary to hold on, moments when your heart seemed hollow, not because your faith was gone, but because you were drained. And in those exact instances, I came nearer to you than you realized. When you could not find the words to pray, I prayed for you. When your steps wavered beneath the weight of fatigue, I carried you across the hardest distance. And now, as you confront the risk of your name being sullied, your reputation doubted, and the trust of others shaken, remember this: you have lost nothing if you still firmly grasp the truth within yourself. You are not the sum of other people's judgments. You are not the total of past failures or mistaken impressions. You are the one I chose, called by name, set in this time to reflect the light I placed within you. And that light, no one can extinguish it unless you decide to yield it. I have witnessed your unspoken endeavors, the loyal decisions you held on to when no one watched, and the times you turned aside from the simpler route to maintain what is righteous. I forget none of these things, and I will proclaim your reward, not through people's voices, but through my own hand. True honor does not stem from popularity, but from the imprint I place on your life, and that imprint no one can remove. Remember this: you were not created to please everyone, but to bring joy to the one who formed you. When you stand in the truth, no matter how hard the winds blow, no matter how strong the whispers grow, I stand alongside you. I remain the unshakable haven, the resting place for your spirit, even in the fiercest storms. My love does not waver with your circumstances. It does not fade because you are disheartened. It does not leave when you are weak. In fact, it draws nearer in your weakness to shield you, to bolster you, and to revive your soul. Raise your head. Do not view yourself as a victim. See yourself as I see you, a quiet warrior, steady in spirit, not applauded by crowds, but honored in heaven. What you are enduring today is paving the way for what lies ahead: a higher calling, greater resilience, and a voice that will reach beyond your imagination. But before I expand your reach, I must be sure your roots sink deeply enough not to be carried away by the world's gales. So do not let narrow judgments blur your infinite perspective. Do not permit a few careless words to block your progress. You are worth far more than what others imagine, because I have called you, chosen, and that title surpasses any honor this world can offer. My beloved child, in this season where you face twisted words, heavy and unjust accusations, I want you to remember this: it is the light in you that is unsettling the surrounding darkness. Those who attempt to injure you with their words are not doing so because you are powerless, but because they themselves are wounded by unhealed pains. They are acting not from truth, but from their own brokenness. And when you become their target, it does not signify your failure, but confirms that you stand precisely where light and truth radiate. My dear one, grasp this: venomous words do not arise from truth, but from deep hurts. That individual, the one trying to diminish your honor and name, is actually wrestling with their own inner shadows. Their words do not define who you are. They mirror the raw places of their soul. It is a spirit reaching out for help. Yet in their inability to confront themselves, they have reshaped their anguish into arrows shot at you, the one whose light intensifies their hidden wounds. So, cherished child, do not measure your value by their words. You are not the warped image seen in the reflection of envy. You are not a being defined by the opinions of others. You are the one I fashioned with my own sacred hands, with love, with an eternal plan, and with an unwavering affirmation. You do not have to establish your case through arguments, nor defend yourself with anger. I have not called you to rise up and shout your innocence before the crowd. I have summoned you to stand resolute in potent silence, so your serenity becomes the voice echoing the true nature I have instilled in your soul. In times like these, when human words stir your spirit, when your reputation is dissected, when your presence becomes the topic of hushed discussions, choose to respond with nobility. Do not let your heart fall to the level of vengeance. Always remember, you are not fighting mere mortals, but engaging in a spiritual conflict. And in this battle, your weapons are neither accusations nor self-defense. They are peace, perseverance, and unshakable trust in me. I realize there are moments when you want to speak up, to clarify and set the record straight. You wish to defend yourself. But let me pose a question. What if you allowed me to speak for you? What if you handed every injury to me and let me be the one who exonerates you? Since no one can distort the truth I have decreed, no one can nullify what I have established with my own voice. And truth, my beloved, will inevitably rise, regardless of how many layers of deception try to cover it. I am calling you into a deeper level of spiritual maturity, a realm where lies cannot shake you, where you will not be hurled about by waves. Safeguard your heart, my beloved. Do not let bitterness take root, for a soul that remains clean even in the darkness is the very place my power can be shown most intensely. I am readying you for a fresh season, one where honor does not stem from applause but from standing strong within. Whenever you do not react in the way people anticipate, you break a chain of darkness. Whenever you answer with kindness rather than anger, you open a portal for grace to come pouring in. And do you know this? I am watching it all. Not a single glance, not one moment when you swallow your tears, not one quiet choice to remain gentle. None of it escapes my notice. I cherish each of these like precious stones in my hand. And a day will arrive when I personally arrange a feast in front of those who tried to bring you down. Not as an act of retaliation, but as proof that whatever takes root in heaven cannot be undone by human voices. My child, I have witnessed every silent battle you have traversed, and today I declare that your reward will not come from human hands, but from me alone, the one who sees what is concealed and compensates what is faithful. Therefore, continue walking in the light. Let your quietness resonate like a peal of truth. Let compassion serve as your shield, and let faith be the lamp illuminating each step you take. My beloved, each morning you open your eyes is not simply a restart. It is a sacred gift, a divine chance laid into your hands to deepen faith, grow in patience, and experience the unwavering might of a love that pardons. I do not place you in tranquil situations, leading you to become lax in comfort. On the contrary, I position you amid trials, hurts, and misreadings, not to break you, but to mold your spirit into a blossom that springs from solid rock, spreading its scent without demanding recognition, living authentically, lacking the need for external endorsement. Forgiveness, my precious one, is not feebleness. It is the bravery of the valiant. To forgive does not mean denying the pain. It signifies choosing not to let that pain rule the rest of your life. When you cast off hateful words, when you forgive those who purposefully twisted your image in the eyes of others, in that exact instant, you are unlocking genuine liberty. You are declaring to the dark that it no longer governs your mind or feelings. You are proclaiming to your past that it cannot subdue the light now arising in your present. Do you understand that each act of forgiveness severs the chains of resentment, lightens the load on your heart, and carries you out of the cage of anger into the expansive skies of peace. Forgiveness does not imply you condone what was wrong. It indicates you trust that I, the righteous one, will manage everything at the perfect moment. You need not carry burdens I alone am meant to bear for you. Recall this: forgiveness is not a path of emotions. It is a resolution of the will, a choice born of courage and love. You may still feel the anguish. Tears may continue when memories resurface. But when you say, "Lord, I choose to forgive," in that instant a miracle starts. A doorway once locked by hurt opens, and you enter the terrain of healing, where love not only mends your wounds, but rebuilds who you are inside. My dear child, I know there are points when you feel wholly alone, times when the entire world seems asleep while you lie awake, your heart aching with 1,000 questions. Why did that person speak untruths? Why me? Why is kindness often met with distrust and loyalty turned into betrayal? These questions echo in you like endless waves crashing against the shores of your soul. But I tell you now, you are not by yourself. In the very instant you feel most forsaken, neglected, or out of place, know that you are being wrapped in my presence, soft yet immensely powerful. You are being carried by a spiritual family, not a boisterous crowd, but a community whose hearts beat in harmony, pulsing with a longing for truth, for goodness, for light. Some are unknown to you, but they pray on behalf of souls like yours. Some have also treaded the path of suffering, of being dismissed, of enduring betrayal, even when living honorably. They are the still witnesses who journey with you in spirit. O child, in the moments you feel most alone, you are most intimately connected to my heart. I will not allow you to traverse the night alone. With each trembling footstep, I go with you. Every time you sense you cannot continue, I am the one lifting you by hidden strength. Never believe your tears are in vain. In my realm, every tear carries meaning. I do not let them fall to the ground and vanish. I gather them, holding each like a fragment of your soul in my hand. And on the day I have chosen, I will use those very tears to water the blessings prepared for you. Recognize that the forgiveness you extend does not just set free the other person, it first frees you. When you opt to let go, you embrace something much bigger. When you decide not to cling to bitterness, you carve out room for healing and an overflow of grace. And when you dare to live with a pure heart in a flawed world, you become a light. Not a glaring one that demands to be seen, but a calm, unwavering flame that cannot be snuffed out. My beloved, I overlook nothing. I miss none of your pain. And I do not stand idle regarding those who intentionally twist the truth in an effort to lessen you. But rather than handing you a sword to strike back, I give you a shield to safeguard your heart. A shield fashioned from wisdom, patience, and mercy. By choosing forgiveness, you proclaim to the world that you are one I have personally taught, one I have led, and one I love without limits. Let your speech, your deeds, and your attitude confirm to all that you live not from wounds but from healing, that you answer not out of scars but from love still alive, that you do not act like a victim but mirror the one who set you free. That echo will astonish your adversaries, not because you shouted, but because you held firm in silence, not because you contended with words, but because you walked in truth. And on a future day, when they reflect, when truth stands revealed, when light illuminates every hidden space, they will behold not only someone who made it through, but someone who bears a divine nature, someone who did more than just persist, but who changed pain into wisdom, one who not only forgave, but who learned to love on a deeper level, after all. Hence, my child, keep forgiving, keep trusting, keep living with a heart free of bitterness, because it is precisely this purity, this spotless spirit, this merciful gaze that still contains tears but rejects retaliation, that stirs heaven and makes me, your Father, smile from within. You are not gone astray. You are traveling the path of the chosen, the path of unwavering forgiveness, of peace that no human can grant, and of splendor that is not conceived by applause, but by divine validation found in me. And that, my beloved, is worth more than anything the world might ever provide. My beloved, when the world gets clamorous with skeptical voices, and when the forces of evil lurk to sow accusations in your mind, I want you to go back to the deepest chamber within your being, the place where my light has not been extinguished. Although on the outside you may be blanketed by the dust of life's difficulties, the flame I set within you remains lit. It keeps burning quietly, yet steadfastly, impervious to circumstances and unyielding through injuries. That light is the sacred part of you I have claimed as my own, the very part that sets you apart, the part that stabilizes you in storms others assumed would break you. You have wondered if you remain on the correct path, why your journey seems isolated when it was supposed to echo with footsteps of companion. But I want you to realize it is precisely because you carry divine light that you cannot simply disappear into darkness. It is because your identity was formed in an eternal source, so no fleeting substitute can fill the void only I can touch. You were not created to dissolve, you were formed to define, not to yield to deception, but to spark truth, not to echo the masses, but to stand as a bell of light, perhaps solitary but revolutionary in the spiritual sphere. Do not undervalue each simple act of goodness. Every time you pick silence over retaliation, every instance you extend compassion to the broken, or every tear you shed in the face of injustice, these are living proof of a rising light in you. No deed made in honor is insignificant. In these discrete decisions, your spiritual essence grows. Your real identity is not a label given by humanity, but the recognition of heaven, that you are a carrier of my light sent to illuminate the darkest corners. I see you not by how you appear, but by how you fight in silence. I see you refusing to compromise when others simply relent. I see the nights you lie awake, wrestling with your own thoughts just to keep your heart gentle, striving to preserve a piece of your soul from cynicism. And I am there in each breath you take quietly, in each moment you feel like quitting, but persist anyway. The light in you is not transient. It is a lamp I ignited long before you knew how to speak my name. The world will try to blot out that identity. It will exploit the silence of others to make you question your own voice. It will harness deferred hopes to convince you that you are undeserving of anything good. But I summon you to look deeper, beneath the surface of your current trials, past even the weight of the void pressing upon you. Look again at what I have accomplished in your life. Recall the times only my hand could lift you out of the pit of despair. That light within you did not just materialize. It is the consequence of each occasion you resisted the tide, every scar that did not redefine you. Your character is the direct reflection of the eternal truths I placed in you from the outset. Unconditional love, unwavering truth, and regard not just for others but also for yourself. When you live aligned with these, you are on the secure terrain of my will. You need not argue in defense of the light you bear. Genuine light seeks no defense. It validates itself merely by existing. It might be rejected, but it cannot be snuffed out. It might be misconstrued, but spiritually it is never negated. My beloved child, if you discover yourself traversing a dark hallway where door after door seems to close, do not despair. Recall that sometimes light must meet darkness to shine its brightest. Do not berate yourself for feeling weary. Even lanterns need oil to keep their flame. Yet never allow your exhaustion to drive you to trade your authentic identity for momentary solace. Never let what is passing make you overlook what is everlasting. Stand still when you must be still. Move forward when prompted. But above all, protect the light inside you as a humble flame that might flicker, but will not be put out. I chose you not because you are faultless, but because you are willing. Not because you hold more strength than others, but because you know how to stumble and then rise again. Not because you are always correct, but because you possess the humility to admit error and amend yourself. And that makes the light within you purer. for it is not borrowed, but refined through experience, through sorrow, through a subdued faithfulness that seeks no applause. So when you end up misunderstood, cut off, or dismissed, let it be an opportunity to return to that genuine light within. Let your pain press you closer to me, not away. And if at any point you need evidence that your light still gleams, look at how you go on shining enough to love, to trust, to live sincerely, even when no one notices, praises, or reciprocates. That light is a spiritual mark that cannot be robbed. It is the proof of my presence within you, and by living in it, each step you take becomes a trace of hope for somebody else. Each glance you offer becomes a reminder that purity is still alive in a world drowned in clamor. Every word that leaves your lips, if uttered from light, can calm the hearts that tremble in terror of the dark. Cling to that identity as a gem I placed under your care. Do not let the clamor around you overshadow what I have etched inside. Do not live like a shadow when you were created to echo my brilliance. Do not doubt your value just because others fail to recognize it. For I see, I always see, and I am still pouring oil into your lamp, not to show off, but for guidance, not to impress, but to save. My precious child, let me whisper into your soul, not one instant of your pain is wasted. Every time your heart throbs from a word as sharp as a knife, every time you force back your tears and wear a smile in the face of misunderstanding, it is not meant to break you, but to reveal something holy I am shaping in you. You are not the total of what harmed you. You are the outcome of how you faced it, rose above it, and stayed grounded in the storms that raged in your soul. When you face scorn, rejection, or the blank stares of indifference, I realize there are moments you feel unworthy, not strong enough, not adequate. But I am there, not to admonish you for your fragility, but to remind you that this weakness does not define you. The way you rise from it shows who you really are. You were not formed to exist on the cheering of others, but to thrive in the confirmation of heaven that you are chosen, molded by a design beyond human logic. Every challenge is not retribution, but a tool for shaping. Each fracture in you does not lessen you, it lets my light break through. I do not count you by how often you stumble, but by how often you choose to rise, not in arrogance, but in steadfastness and humility. The further you travel through the flames, the more refined you become. That fire, although painful, is what makes your soul luminous, radiant, and unable to be shaken. Remember, what truly counts is not what others think you are, but who you remember you belong to. You belong to me, your Father in heaven, who has witnessed each tear, heard every silent cry from your hurting soul, and held your hand when no one else did. And that is why I am certain you are not as frail as you sometimes feel. You are a light-bearing warrior, one who carries mercy in your heart and carries divine. It is no accident that storms keep finding you, because the enemy sees that within you lies something he cannot overcome, a steadfast light. You once believed that if you were better, if you were flawless, maybe you would not hurt so much. But my beloved, the pain you bear is no sign of defeat. It proves that you have lived with an unguarded heart, and a heart like that is uncommon. It is sacred, something the world fails to grasp. But I do. I cherish each scar you bear, not because scars are lovely, but because they tell the tale of someone who refused to yield. They testify that you chose love, that you forgave, that you carried on, even when logic told you to close your heart. I saw how you withheld retaliation when betrayed. I saw how you silently prayed for the one who harmed you rather than cursing them. I saw the private agony hidden behind your forced smile in moments of cutting words. Not because you were weak, but because you chose a strength this world does not teach, a power only I could plant in your heart. And those decisions are shaping you into the person I always knew you could be. Not someone made callous by anger, but someone anchored in empathy, powerful yet still dressed in holy gentleness. Did you know the world often applauds outward achievement, but I celebrate the conquests won in hidden places, the quiet victories of the heart no one notices. I rejoice when you avoid deception, even if it costs you friendships. I smile when you shut your eyes to reject evil and open your heart to find goodness, even in someone who once hurt you. The more you protect your heart from bitterness, the nearer you draw to me. For I am love, unswayed by human reactions. So do not let spiteful words lessen your glow. Do not allow failure to distort the vision I painted of you in the beginning. When you are wounded, bring that hurt to me. Do not try to hide it. Let me take even that injury and work a miracle, not by erasing what happened, but by turning it into beauty on the path of your transformation. I do not need you to be a person who never shed a tear. I need you to be someone who knows how to use tears to water the parched souls around you. And, my beloved, I have already seen the future I arranged for you. Not a life shaped by your vulnerable moments, but a legacy defined by unwavering trust in uncertainty. A life that chooses honesty in a world consumed by appearances, a soul ready to pardon without an apology, a heart that gains its sense of value not from external applause, but from the light I sealed in you. And one day when you look back, you will realize that each hostile word, every time you were disregarded, every heartbreak, these were instruments I used to penetrate the deepest parts of your being, the place where your faith is honed, where compassion is born, and where your genuine identity is discovered. On that day, you will no longer hate the past. You will be thankful for the very things that once brought you sorrow, because they were the means by which you were drawn near to me, the means that softened your heart and allowed you to become a flame forever ablaze in my hand. Keep going, not with steps that never grow weary, but with a heart that refuses to surrender. Let each wound inflicted by speech become the stones that pave your growth. Let each instance of disillusionment be the soil where I sow fresh hope. And wherever you walk, remember this: I always move ahead of you, clearing your path. You are not alone. You have not been abandoned. You are being molded, not just to survive, but to live in abundance. Not to fade into the crowd, but to carry a mark of eternity. And I, the one who started this good work in you, will surely be the one who completes it, with all my love, with all my glory, and with a light no darkness can quench. My beloved child, I know there are moments when you walk through this world feeling as though your heart is torn by sharp words, by the cold distances of those once dear to you. There are times you turn your face swiftly just to hide the tears you would rather no one see. There are nights you sit quietly in a dark room, questioning whether you erred, whether you are truly insufficient, or whether you have become a burden on this earth. But pause now and hear my voice. A voice neither loud nor booming, but profound enough to move your spirit. I am here. I have never left. No toxic word can uproot what I have planted in you. No cold stare can snuff out the light I kindled in your heart. And even if your heart bleeds, even if it aches, I remain the one who bears the oil of healing, the safe space where you can fall unafraid of judgment. You do not have to prove your value by pretending not to feel pain. I do not require you to be strong by the world's gauge. I need you to be authentic. I love even the fragile, delicate places in you, for in those parts I find the room to perform miracles. My love for you does not shift with your actions. It is not shaken by your downfalls. It is steady, much like the sun rising each morning, regardless of clouds or storms. You may lose your way, stumble, or doubt, but my heart remains steadfast. I still see you as precious. I still behold you as lovely. I still call you mine. There is nothing within you that would make me let go. Not one wound so deep, not one shadow so impenetrable that I cannot enter and carry you out. You have traversed so many seasons of isolation, bearing the disappointments of misguided hopes. But I implore you, do not let these experiences harden your heart. Let me continue soothing it with my gentleness. Let your heart, though pierced, become like a well of refreshing water, where others do not come to injure, but to be revived. Because you were not created merely to endure, but to serve as a fountain of life in the desert. I wish to use you to bring wholeness to others, to show them that love can conquer fear, that trust can survive despite the specter of betrayal. You, my beloved, are not overlooked. You are being readied for a larger calling than you imagine. None of the pain was for nothing. It has been woven into the core of your commission. Let it expand your compassion rather than fueling your resentment. Let it instruct you in how to remain standing, not through hardening, but by trusting more deeply. For in each fracture, I am shining through. In each breaking, I am constructing something immovable. You are my vessel, not because you are immaculate, but because you are willing. And that willingness, bathed in tears, covered in scars, yet brimming with hope, is precisely what moves heaven and makes me smile. Do not suppose that what you face is pointless. Each time you bear it in silence, I gather your tears to water the magnificent seeds I have planted deep inside you. There are wonders that only blossom in darkness. There are new forms of life birthed solely through tears. And some lights shine their brightest only after crossing corridors that appear closed. I see everything, the secrets you have never told, the pain you believed no one else could grasp. Let yourself become a chorus of hope, not because your life has no sad chords, but because it is precisely those chords that give your melody depth and the power to stir the hearts of others. Live as if your heart is a door flung open to living, even if once someone slammed it shut. I will mend it with my own hands. Let your life stand as a breathing testimony that you can be hurt and still opt to love, be cast aside and still opt to give, be misunderstood and yet never surrender your true essence. I am aware there are mornings you awake and find no reason to carry on, but it is exactly in such moments, when you have no more to lean on, that I become your haven. You need not act like all is well. Just come to me genuinely, and I will wrap you in my arms. When you feel lost in a sea of faces, I am the compass that never misleads. When you are worn down from trying to appease everyone, I am the space where you can release everything, safe from judgment. When you feel invisible, I am the one who always sees you, not just your exterior, but the deepest part of your spirit. My beloved, do not seal off your heart. Do not allow your wounds to snatch away your hope. With every step, I am right there with you, not as an onlooker, but as a caring father who stoops down to walk beside you, wiping your tears, easing your aches, and comforting your soul. I do not pledge a life without hurt, but I do promise this. I will be there in each hurt, and my presence never lacks intention. It delivers healing, brings renewal, and provides what the world cannot supply, a divine security for your soul. You are woven into a grand plan, not as an afterthought, but as a vital strand. Keep spreading kindness, even if others do not reply. Keep believing in goodness, even when all you see is doubt. Keep your heart gentle, for it is through your tenderness that my power is most vividly displayed. You do not have to scream to be noticed. The light in you speaks louder than words. You need not prove yourself. Your very being, formed and wrapped in my love, stands as evidence that goodness still moves across the earth. So in any situation, let your heart be an ever-flowing spring, where hope not only persists but multiplies. Live as if you truly are a fragment of heaven, because you are. And whenever you feel depleted, come back to me. I will refill your well with the living water flowing from my glorious throne. No one dwindles away in my presence, and no soul is forsaken once it returns to the one who lovingly shaped it. My dearest one, amid the uproar and clamor of this world, where approval and criticism alike may be twisted by jealousy and illusion, I want you to engrave this certainty into the depths of your soul. Your value is not decided by human voices. The assaults against you, the false charges, the misreadings, are not accurate depictions of who you are. They are simply warped echoes from hearts that still require healing. The pronouncements of injured souls lack the power to define you. Only I, the one who made you with unwavering love, can proclaim what is genuine about you. They might mock your kindness, reducing it to weakness. They might belittle your silence, interpreting it as defeat. But I see beyond the surface. I see that your silence is nurtured by endurance, formed through mercy, and supported by a faith unmoved by the stares of onlookers. What they behold is just the outside, but I see the quiet fire within you, a fire of truth, of compassion, and of a faith that has endured betrayal countless times. The words they fling like arrows, hoping to wound your heart. They do not realize your heart has already passed through flames, been shattered before, and yet rose again with a resilience that did not emerge from this realm. If your reputation is rooted in truth, no storm can sweep it away. If you walk with a genuine heart, no darkness can bury the light you radiate. It will shine by its inherent nature. Always remember that everything of genuine worth must endure testing by fire. And I have allowed those flames not to ruin you, but to show how tough you are. They may temporarily obscure people's vision. They may arouse suspicion in the crowd, but clouds cannot conceal the sun for too long. The sun remains brilliant, steady, and more forceful than any claim. Light requires no defense. It declares itself, and so do you. You do not have to shout to confirm your innocence when you are already walking in truth. Let your being speak. Let the unwavering calm in your eyes, the way you love boundlessly, be the most resonant reply to any accusations. My beloved child, I know there are moments when you want only to hide, to escape the burden of untrue words and the weight of doubtful eyes. But hear me. Do not let the cracks on the outside become doubts on the inside. Do not allow deceit to replace truth in your soul. I want you to stand, not for retaliation, but maintaining your true identity. Do not let them steal what is most priceless, the purity of your heart. They might strip away fleeting acknowledgement, but no one can touch that part of you which belongs to me, your dignity, the type forged in clandestine decisions, in loyalty to what is upright. When no one is watching, that is where I dwell. I have seen each moment you chose the quiet road of obedience when you could have lashed out. I have seen how you suppressed bitterness even with a wounded heart. And that is what defines nobility, not in the world's sight, but in heaven's eyes. True nobility is not discovered through being visible, but in the consistent light you carry. Let the love in your heart serve as your shield, not to strike others, but to guard your own heart from turning hateful. Let mercy be the armor you put on daily, so that when stones are hurled, you can still soften yourself to pray instead of cursing. You do not have to become callous to survive. You need only cling to me, the one who remains even when all others depart. And my child, the day will come, perhaps not tomorrow, not even next week, but it will come when all slander is stripped bare by the light, when truth stands evident on its own, requiring no defense, and those who doubted you realize you walked faithfully all along. At that moment, it will not be the reclamation of your reputation that counts most, but the fact that you still hold your heart whole, your faith unbroken, and your soul free from darkness. My beloved child, I have called you to a journey that will not be simple, yet it will be majestic. It will not be easy because you were not made to remain safely within comfort, but to stride into regions where light is desperately sought. You must pass through valleys of misconception, of betrayal, of solitude. However, in these very places I will accompany you, not merely to console you, but to demonstrate that my love for you cannot be shaken by any rising storm. I want you to act as if you carry a peace that cannot be taken, because that is the reality. That peace flows from a deep certainty that you belong to me, from the firm assurance that what you have sown in honesty will eventually blossom in glory. And I, who notice every hidden tear and hear every unuttered prayer, I will restore what has been taken from you, not merely returning it, but giving more. More than recognition, more than vindication, more even than your image. I will give you a heart made whole, one unburdened by fear, hurt, or doubts of your worth. So my child, keep progressing. Abide in the light. Declare the truth in love. Love others, even if they do not understand you. And let me handle the rest. Reputation can rise and fall with the gusts of public opinion, but the identity I have placed in you is fixed. Your worth is not established by what others say, but by what I have pronounced. You are my beloved child, a name everlasting, one no person, no circumstance, no word can take. Not ever, not in the slightest, always. When you sustain your peace amid judgment, when you stay unwavering while being misconstrued, that is when the divine power within you is most openly revealed. Not everyone can endure the tempest and keep light in their eyes. Not everyone can face venomous words and reply with gentleness. But you, singled out and chosen by me, you can, because your might is not derived from the cheers of onlookers, but from the one who is always stable and close. You cannot govern what others say, but you have complete power over how you reply. And in that reply, not only is your character formed, but the trajectory of your purpose is determined. I do not ask you to stay silent in the face of injustice. I am urging you to adopt a different weapon, kindness. I am not telling you to erase the wounds inflicted on you, but I am calling you to forgive, not because they merit it, but because you merit freedom. Forgiveness is not giving in. It is a proclamation that darkness does not get to decide your heart's course. Let forgiveness serve as your shield, defending you from bitterness. Refuse to let your heart be worn down by hatred. It will merely sap your light. Wear compassion each day like a covering, so that no matter how cold the world turns, you still carry heaven's warmth. The more kindness you display, the more you prove that you are not governed by fleeting feelings. I see each time you refrain from retaliation, every instance you keep calm, each moment you patiently wait for righteousness to speak for you. And I consider these times the most brilliant victories your soul can know. My child, this world is not deficient in knowledge or ability, but it desperately lacks true nobility of heart. And that is precisely the distinction I have planted in you. I did not choose you just to triumph by worldly benchmarks. I chose you to be a breathing illustration of a dignity that needs no status, no notoriety, but is revealed in the way a person conducts life righteously, even if unseen, in how a heart perseveres in love, even when there is no response. When you answer with kindness, even to those who hurt you, you rise beyond trivial and small-minded things. When you still decide to bless those who have hurt you, you enter a holy layer of love that only those intimately connected to me can comprehend. I do not require you to be faultless. I ask you to be sincere. Your most authentic self comes forth in moments when you are pushed to the limit. That is when your choices do more than define who you are, they show whose you are. Bear in mind, a reputation can be lost instantly from others' words, but no one can seize the dignity of a soul that knows it belongs to something divine. Reputation is external, able to be constructed or torn down by public voices, but dignity is internal. It stems from upholding righteousness when no one sees, from standing tall when no hand is extended. That is the sort of light no darkness can silence. Live like a lantern in the fog, unblinding but constant. Let yourself become a haven where people find solace, not because you argue powerfully, but because you listen openly, love wholeheartedly, and wait quietly at the right moment. I long for you to be a pattern that requires no platform, a walking display of the grace of a soul preserved by steadfast faith and unwavering love. In living this way, you shine not like a blazing star in the heavens, but like a peaceful sun that softly warms frigid hearts. This path is not always going to be easy. You will face times when you feel too insignificant amidst booming voices. You will find times when your path seems isolated, diverging from the mainstream. But do not permit these things to break your resolve. Every decision you make, Every principle you uphold, every quiet act of integrity is noted, not by humans, but by me. Each time you pick kindness instead of anger, each time you stay faithful to truth, each time you extend mercy, even when it is not returned, these are hallowed seeds that will someday burst forth in the fields of eternity. And my child, when the day arrives, when everything you have done is revealed in genuine light, you will have no cause to explain your past. The fruits themselves will testify how you lived, how you loved, how you forgave, and how you retained a complete heart, like a flame that was never doused. So do not let what is short-lived pull you away from what is eternal. Do not allow a few impulsive words to halt your onward journey. You are far more valuable than people might guess, because I have called you chosen, and that name exceeds any title this world can grant. My beloved child, in this chapter where you battle twisted accounts, weighty and unfair judgments, I want you to recall this. It is the light in you that is disturbing the surrounding darkness. Those who try to wound you with their words do not act because you are feeble, but because they themselves bear unclosed wounds. They act out of their own turmoil, not from fact. And when you become the aim, it is not proof that you have fallen short, but confirmation that you stand exactly where truth and light emerge. My darling one, realize this. Poisonous words do not come from reality, but from damaged souls. That person, the one striving to tear down your worth and name, is truly grappling with their own darkness. Their words do not depict you, but instead mirror the unhealed places of their heart. It is a spirit pleading for help, but in their inability to confront their own anguish, they have converted that pain into arrows aimed at you, the one whose light intensifies their hidden sores. So, cherished child, do not gauge your identity by those words. You are not the distortion reflected in the mirror of envy. You are not shaped by others' definitions. You are the one I formed with my own sacred touch, in love, with an everlasting intent and an unbreakable validation. You do not need to argue your case, nor defend yourself in anger. I have not summoned you to appear and protest your purity in front of the entire world. I have summoned you to stand immovable in resounding silence, so that your stillness becomes the voice reflecting the true nature I have inscribed in your core. In seasons like these, when people's words stir your soul, when your good name is dissected, when your very presence turns into hushed gossip, choose to reply with nobility. Resist letting your heart sink to the level of retaliation. Remember, you do not wrestle humans, but confront a spiritual battle. In that battle, your armaments are neither accusations nor self-justifications. They consist of peace, endurance, and an unbreakable faith in me. I am aware there are moments you yearn to speak up, to clarify and rectify the story. You desire to stand up for yourself. But let me ask you this. What if you let me speak for you? What if you entrusted me with all your wounds and allowed me to vindicate you? Since nobody can corrupt the truth I have established, nobody can undo what I have validated with my own voice. And truth, my dear, will consistently find a way to rise, no matter how many falsehoods attempt to bury it. I call you into a deeper space of spiritual maturity, a place where lies cannot rattle you, where you will not be flung by the tides. Protect your heart, my dear. Do not let bitterness take hold, for a spirit that remains unsullied in the midst of darkness becomes the very setting where my strength is exposed in all its greatness. I am preparing you for another season, one where honor is not given by applause, but by remaining steady inwardly. Anytime you refuse to respond in the manner others expect, you fracture a circle of darkness. Anytime you show kindness in place of anger, you open a passage for grace to stream in. And do you realize this? I am taking note of it all. Not a glance, not a moment when tears fill your eyes, not a single decision to stay tender. None of it slips past me. I treasure them like precious jewels resting on my hand. And the day will come when I personally arrange a feast before those who intended to reduce you, not as vengeance, but as living proof that what is anchored in heaven cannot be undone by human remarks. My child, I have witnessed each quiet conflict you have endured, and today I declare that your recompense will not flow from human hands, but from me alone, the one who sees the hidden and pays back the faithful. So proceed on in the light. Let your silence ring like a bell of honesty. Let tenderness be your defense, and let faith be the torch lighting your every move. My beloved, when you open your eyes every morning, it is more than just another day. It is a holy opportunity, a sacred moment placed into your hands to develop a deeper faith, greater patience, and the invincible power of a love that forgives. I do not place you in mild conditions so you can drift into complacency. On the contrary, I position you in trials, injuries, and misjudgments, not to defeat you, but to sculpt your soul into a bloom that pushes through stone, releasing its fragrance without seeking praise, living sincerely with no dependence on external approval. Forgiveness, my cherished one, is not feebleness. It is the power of the brave. To forgive is not pretending the hurt did not exist. It is the decision not to let that hurt steer your future. When you set aside scathing words, when you forgive those who willfully twisted your image in others' minds, in that very instant you release the gateway to genuine liberation. You announce to the darkness that it no longer has sway over your thoughts and emotions. You declare to your yesterdays that they cannot stifle the light now shining in your present. Do you grasp that each forgiving act is like a strike that slashes the chains of bitterness, that it eases the weight on your heart, that it frees you from the prison of anger into the endless expanse of peace? Forgiveness does not mean you condone wrongdoing. It means you trust that I, the righteous one, will take care of everything at the precise time, and you have no reason to hold burdens that are meant for me alone. Never forget that forgiveness is not led by emotions. It is a choice of the will, a courageous act of love. The sting may remain. Tears can still surface when you recall the hurt. But when you whisper, "Lord, I opt to forgive," in that second a miracle commences. A gate that was locked by pain is opened, and you walk into the realm of healing, where love not only covers the injuries, but rebuilds who you are from within. My sweet child, I know there are nights you feel utterly alone, moments when the world sleeps while you remain awake with a burdened heart asking, why did they choose to speak falsehood? Why me? Why does kindness so often meet suspicion and loyalty turn into disloyalty? These questions crash like endless waves upon the coasts of your soul. But hear me clearly, you are not alone. In the second you feel most deserted, neglected, or uprooted, you are being embraced by my presence, gentle yet astoundingly potent. You have the support of a spiritual community, not a loud crowd, but a circle of hearts in sync with the same pulse, longing for truth, for goodness, for light. Some you have never encountered, yet they are praying for souls like yours. Some have walked the path of anguish, of being wrongly perceived, of being betrayed, even while living righteously. They are the quiet witnesses walking with you in the spiritual realm. Oh, my child, when you are at your most isolated, you are most intimately united with my heart. I will not let you wander the night alone. With each trembling pace you take, I walk beside you. Whenever you lack the strength to continue, I am the one who elevates you with invisible might. Do not assume your tears are void. In my kingdom, every tear holds worth. I do not let them drop unnoticed. I collect them, treasuring each one like a shard of your essence in the palm of my hand. On the day I have ordained, I will use those very tears to water the crop of blessings reserved for you. Understand that the forgiveness you offer does not merely set someone else free. It begins by freeing you. In choosing to release, you make space for something immeasurably greater. By refusing to hold on to resentment, you allow healing to overflow with grace. And when you choose a clean heart in an unjust world, you become a light, not an overwhelming glare, but a stable, tender flame that cannot be put out. My beloved, I fail to miss nothing. I dismiss none of your pain. I am not indifferent toward those who knowingly warp the truth trying to belittle you. But instead of handing you a sword to fight back, I provide a shield to guard your heart. A shield fashioned from patience, wisdom, and mercy. Every time you pardon, you declare to the world that you belong to the one who taught you, who guided you, and who loves you unconditionally. Let your manner, your deeds, your posture reveal to all that you operate not from your wounds, but from your restored self, that you respond not from scars, but from love still intact, that you do not act as a victim, but mirror the one who has liberated you. That reflection will leave your enemies in wonder, not from your shouts, but from your solid silence. Not because you debated vigorously, but because you walked in truth. And when, in due time, they look back, when reality surfaces, when light penetrates every hidden corner, they will see more than just a survivor. They will see one who embodies a divine character, one who not only endured, but transformed hardship into wisdom. One who not only pardoned, but also discovered a deeper way to love beyond it all. Consequently, my child, keep forgiving, keep relying, keep living with a heart unspoiled by resentment. Because it is precisely this spotlessness, this unsullied spirit, this mercy-filled look that still holds tears but not revenge, which stirs heaven and makes me, your father, beam from within. You are not adrift. You walk the path of those who have been summoned, the path of ceaseless forgiveness, of a peace unattainable by man, and of a glory that is not conceived by applause, but by the divine validation found in me. And my beloved, that is more priceless than anything the world could ever grant. Beloved, you have heard the warning and felt the love poured out in every word. Remember that you are never alone. My presence surrounds you, my angels guard you, and my promise secures your steps. When slander rises, when doubt creeps in, stand firm in the truth of who you are, a child of the Most High, shining with a light no darkness can quench. If this message stirred your heart and reminded you of the power you carry, then do not wander away. Stay close to this channel, for here you will find more words of life to strengthen you in every battle and guide you through every storm. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you never miss a fresh word of hope, encouragement, and revelation. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment telling us what spoke to you most today. Return often and remain vigilant, for I will continue to speak into your heart, exposing hidden snares and equipping you for victory. Stay anchored in faith, for your greatest season is yet to come, and this channel will be your lamp in the darkness and your wellspring of truth. Until next time, walk in peace, love without hesitation, and keep your eyes fixed on heaven's promises. Amen.